Hello guys, and welcome to the White Rabbit Trading Channel. Before we begin, please take a moment to read the disclaimer below. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor and everything here is for educational purposes only. Alright, let's dive in. Yesterday, I was looking at these levels, expecting that Bitcoin might come down to the previous week's equilibrium and the weekly volume block, where I was watching for potential setups. I traded this move down step by step as the price developed, taking profits at my targets along the way. Of course, the best scenario would be for some of these trades to become runners. However, since we can never know with 100% certainty what price will do, it's always wise to pay yourself. As we can see, the price bounced nicely from the support level but got rejected at the New York Open. From the previous update, not much has changed. I'm still watching the same scenarios and levels. For the bullish case, I want to see the upper range and the weekly level hold. If price starts closing below, the chances increase for it to start filling the wick. I'll show what to look for because there are a few possible scenarios. The first scenario is price closing around here. Technically, this is not a break. However, since Bitcoin would close below the previous day's low, this can often lead to a new move down or a sweep in the coming days. This could simply mean opening a new day, sweeping the low, or deviating and then coming back inside. For this to turn bullish again, it needs to close at least above today's high. If you see price struggling and no bullish price action, it could lead to a rejection and continuation downward. Another scenario is that price forms a range breaker from here. That means the next day could end up green. If I see it fail to make a move up and instead just range, then the following day I'd watch for potential bearish SFPs combined with intraday bearish structure. This could lead to continuation to the downside. At that point, we would assess how deep the move goes and work with new data as it approaches the next support levels. As I mentioned, invalidation would occur if we see bullish price action holding these levels and starting to reclaim them. For tomorrow, I'll mark out the Monday range. It's always useful for forming a plan. I'll look for similar setups if the price comes below Monday's range. I'll watch to see if it's able to reclaim the range or if it starts acting as resistance. In that case, the bearish scenarios I just outlined would come into play. On the weekly time frame, it would be a simple continuation down after the weekly open range, which for me is always Monday. What we could see then is the weekly candle filling the wick, with the potential of forming a nice swing low if support holds. However, for this to happen, you want to see price move above Monday's low, show some strength, and close the weekly candle above this level. What wouldn't be ideal is if it starts closing weekly below the weekly block. This doesn't necessarily mean a full breakdown, but it would at least open the door to new bearish scenarios and new levels. For example, not just filling the wick but sweeping it or even taking out stops from the previous higher lows. In the best case, I'd be on board, as that's where I'd take profits if I get a setup. If it moves without me, I'm totally fine with that. I don't need to rush into anything or short into support, which this level still is as it stands now. I'll simply wait for the next setups to form. For now, I'll watch to see if there are any new setups, maybe new sweeps, as the lows are not the best. I'll also observe how the daily candle closes. Then, I'll watch what price does in the coming days. Will it continue straight down, show some strength by reclaiming levels, or just range and potentially form a range breaker? If it does, I'd look either for strength or bearish signs like SFPs and bearish structure. One must always adapt to the market. Even though the old plans played out, they didn't become runners this time, so I have to watch for potential new scenarios and then work with the new data. Ladies and gentlemen, let's see what the market gives us next. That's it for today's update. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I'll keep you updated as the market develops. Until then, trade safe, and I'll see you in the next one.